Hello, second graders. I want to take a quick roll call. Make sure we're all here and around. Let you know how much I miss you all. McKenna, where are you? Oh, right there. McKenna, she's over there. Heston, right over there is where Heston sits. Sam, over there next to Heston. Jace, straight ahead, right over there. It's Jace. Caleb, by Jace. Bryson, he sits right over here. Nolan, over there. Braxton, right there's Braxton. James, back over there. And Robert, right up here. So, I like to just call out your names because, I miss you guys, and it's something I'm used to doing is not necessarily calling out your names, but I can look to see who's here every day and take a lunch count, which I normally would be able to do, but I haven't been able to do it. So I just miss seeing you guys. So I like to go through that drill once in a while to keep things real, We have about 4 or 5 more weeks left. If you look at our calendar back here, we'll finish off this week. And we have Mother's Day here. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we have a few days here. This will be going into June. So it's Wednesday. So we'll have today and then Thursday and then the 1, 2, 3, 4. So just over 4 weeks left. So today for our read aloud, I have this great picture. Okay, she's missing her tail. This is Gertrude McFuzz. And I chose to do the read-alouds for this week because we had to cut our reading month of March short. So I'm just going to read just for the sake of reading. Because sometimes it's fun just to read. And believe it or not, when I was younger, I didn't always just read on my own. Now, as a teacher and as grown up, I enjoy reading. I just read at home, especially during the summer, because I have a little bit more time and I'm not exhausted when I get home at 6 o'clock every day or 4 or 5 o'clock every day. So I read a lot during the summer, not as much during the school year, other than what we do in school. So, but really love reading now. So to read, just to read, we're going to read Gertrude McFuzz. Okay, this Dr. Seuss book isn't that colorful. It's mostly black, green, and blue. As you can see, Gertrude McFuzz just has 2 tail feathers right there. But during our story, she's going to get lots of them. And it would be fun if you could give her lots of tail feathers, and I would love to see your artwork because that's all beautiful no matter who does it. Because everybody's mind works differently, and everybody sees things and creates things differently, and I love to see that from all of you. So here we go. So while I read, you can color or pay attention. If you don't want to color, you don't have to do that either. So, there was once a girl bird named Gertrude McFuzz, and she had the smallest plain tail ever was. One droopy droop feather, that's all she had, and oh, that one feather made Gertrude so sad. For there was another young bird that she knew, a fancy young birdie named Lola-lee-loo, and instead of 1 feather behind, she had 2. Poor Gertrude, whenever she happened to spy Miss Lola-lee-loo flying by in the sky, she got very jealous. She frowned and she pouted. Then one day she got an awfully mad and she shouted, "This just isn't fair. I have 1. She has 2. I must have a tail just like Lola-lee-loo." So she flew to her uncle, a doctor named Dake, whose office was high in a tree by the lake, and she cried, "Uncle Doctor, oh please, do you know of some kind of pill that will make my tail grow?" "Tut, tut," said the doctor, "such talk! How absurd! Your tail is just right for your kind of a bird." Then Gertrude had tantrums. She raised such a din, then finally her uncle the doctor gave in, and he told her just where she could find such a pill on a pillberry vine on the top of the hill. "Oh, thank you," chirped Gertrude McFuzz, and she flew right straight to the hill where the pillberry grew. Yes, there was the vine, and as soon as she saw it, she plucked off a berry. She started to gnaw it. It tasted just awful, almost made her sick, but she wanted that tail, so she swallowed it quick. Then she felt something happen. She felt a small twitch, as if she'd been tapped down by a switch, down behind by a switch, and Gertrude looked round and she cheered. It was true, 2 feathers, exactly like Lola Leloo. Then she got an idea. Now I know what I'll do. I'll grow a tail better than Lola Leloo. She felt a new twitch, and then Gertrude yelled, "Wee, Miss Lola has only just 2. I have 3. When Lola Leloo sees this beautiful stuff, she'll fall right down flat on her face. Sure enough, I'll show her who's pretty. I certainly will. Why, I'll make my tail even prettier still." She snatched at those berries that grew on the vine. She gobbled them down. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And she didn't stop eating young Gertrude McFuzz till she had eaten 3 dozen. That's all there was. Then the fathers popped out with a zang, with a zing. They blossomed like flowers that bloom in the spring, all fit for a queen. What a sight to behold! They sparkled like diamonds and gumdrops and gold, like silk, like spaghetti, like satin, like lace. They burst out like rockets all over the place. They waved in the air as they swished in the breeze, and some were as long as the branches of trees. And still they kept growing. They popped and they popped until long about sundown, when finally they stopped. "And now," giggled Gertrude, "the next thing to do is to fly right straight home and show Lola Leloo. And when Lola sees these, why, her face will get red, and she'll let out a scream, and she'll fall right down dead." Then she spread out her wings to take off from the ground, but with all those feathers, she weighed 90 pounds. She yanked and she pulled and she let out a squawk, but that bird couldn't fly, couldn't run, couldn't walk. And all through that night she was stuck on that hill, and Gertrude McFuzz might be stuck up there still if her good Uncle Dick hadn't heard the girl yelp. He rushed to her rescue and brought along help. To lift Gertrude up almost broke all their beaks, and to fly her back home it took almost 2 weeks. And then it took another week more to pull out those feathers. My, Gertrude was sore. And finally, when all the pulling was done, Gertrude, behind her again, had just one. That's one little feather she had as a starter, but now that's enough, because now she is smarter.